Live from the No Panic Zone, I'm Steve Gruber. God bless America. Thank you for being here. Good to have you as we continue our coverage here at CPAC 2023 at the Gaylord Resort. We're in National Harbor, Maryland. Easy for me to say on a Friday. Long day yesterday, to say the least. I mean, CPAC is what it is. You see a lot of people you haven't seen in a year oftentimes. You have a lot of conversations. And what it's done for me, honestly, is to rejuvenate me some. I mean, I won't kid you. You get through an election cycle where you don't do particularly well. You start to question, what are you doing, right? We'll get to the three big things here in a bit, but we're going to just get straight into it today because it's a different sort of show yesterday and today. We're just going to get straight into the conversation. And you look at what's happening in our home state of Michigan, where I live, where they're working as fast as they can, they being the Democrats, to turn it into New York. Yesterday, a series of 11 bills were being discussed for the second day in a row. One of those bills, by the way, would effectively nullify 800,000 concealed carry license holders like myself. And when I say nullify, what I mean is this. There have always been exceptions for the concealed carry licensed individuals. We could go to places that sold liquor. We could go to, grocery stores or liquor stores or bars. If they're bars and restaurants, if their primary function was to sell food, not liquor, you could still go there. I don't know whoever checked on that. But under the new House Bill 4150, the way I understand it, is that all of those exemptions will be nullified for concealed carry permit holders in Michigan. So in order to rectify the problem of mass shootings and gun violence, the Democrats decided to target the most law-abiding citizens among us. CPL holders are involved with crime less than anyone else, less than active police officers. CPL holders are less involved with crime than police officers that are off duty. Think about how well behaved the people are that go ahead in Michigan, get the training, get the card, get certified, however you want to look at that, spend 16 hours in training, pass a proficiency test, pass a background test from the FBI. They're the most law-abiding citizens, and they were the first target of Governor Whitmer and the Democrat legislature when it came to banning guns. What would banning CPLs or basically nullifying them? Because what's going to happen is, okay, so you can't even sit in the Meijer or Kroger parking lot with a gun now in Michigan when this gets signed. Even with a CPL, you would not be legal to sit in the Kroger parking lot with your gun locked up in the glove box of your motor vehicle. At a grocery store, a convenience store, a gas station that sold beer, any place that sold beer or liquor, you would be prohibited from even being on the premises. As a CPL holder, as somebody who has a concealed pistol license, in addition, drop boxes for the mass mail-in ballots that are going to be randomly spread across Michigan now, those you're not going to be allowed to be within 100 feet. So you're driving down the main street of pick your town in Michigan, whatever it is. You're driving down the street. There's one of those drop boxes adjacent to the street. You would now be in violation. You would be violating the law because you no longer have an exemption as a concealed pistol license carrier, meaning they've nullified the value of a CPL. In addition to that, if you have children, under the safe storage law, the way I understand it, your guns at home would need to have trigger locks or be secured in a safe or both, whatever, meaning if you have children at home, you can't even legally have a gun available to defend yourself, your children, your home, your wife, whatever it may be. That is what has happened. And these bills have nothing at all to do with what happened at Oxford, nothing at all to do with what happened at Michigan State University. Red flag laws would not have stopped either one of those horrible tragedies. The kid in Oxford got the gun handed to him by his parents. And the shooter at Michigan State, even though he was charged with a felony in 2019 that should have prohibited him from having a gun, the prosecutor, weak-on crime prosecutor, pled it down to a nothing misdemeanor with a little bit of probation, and bam, he bought 2 guns legally at a gun store with a background check in 2021. So everything that they're putting forth, universal background checks, safe storage, red flag laws, stripping CPL license holders of any benefit whatsoever. You're no different than anybody else, except that you get to have a gun maybe in your driveway, I suppose, or maybe driving down the interstate. That might be about the only place you can carry a gun. Excuse me. Which comes back to what I've told you for years and years. I wrote in 2014 things that would be gone in 50 years. The Second Amendment is one of them. First Amendment's in large part going to be gone by then, too, because criminalizing speech is happening at a very rapid pace in America. Oh, this has offended somebody. Somebody's been triggered by that. And so basically nullifying all gun rights for legal gun owners was the first thing they did, and it was all sitting there waiting for an excuse. Not a reason, an excuse. And the tragedy at Michigan State has turned out to be the excuse that has allowed them to do this. Think about this. We're in a country now where Florida joined the constitutional carry crowd, if you will, right? So Florida joined the constitutional carry crowd, making half of the state's constitutional carry. So half of the country gets more red, half of the country gets more accepting of guns and gun rights and the right to defend yourself, as the Constitution clearly makes outlines and makes clear. And the rest of the country follows this New York plan, this California plan. Where are the most mass shootings, by the way? California. The place with the strictest gun laws has the most shootings. Chicago. Washington, D.C., which is just across a bridge from where I'm sitting here. New York. These are the places with the most mass shootings, the most violence, and the strictest gun laws in America. If you can't figure out how that, is a relationship, I can't say cause and effect, but it's in proximity to each other. These two things are in proximity to each other, so therefore, you've got a failing formula. So instead of learning from that, the Democrats in Michigan are attacking me and 800,000 other legal gun owners who have taken the time to go through a class, to be educated, to prove our proficiency with a firearm, to carry a piece of ID saying that we've concluded and finished these classes. In fact, mine just got renewed, and it's basically worthless. I mean, I've got it with me in my pocket every day. For those of you on TV, there's my CPL. There's my CPL that's worth nothing now because it's basically been nullified, because unless they fixed it, and I have no reason to believe they fixed that, because they were accepting no suggestions from the Republicans. They don't even want to hear from the Republicans. They've got a very slim majority in the House and Senate, and they're ramming through everything they can as fast as they can. All right. I'm going to take a quick break here. When I come back, we're going to get kicking off into CPAC, a whole host of guests today. You're going to love them all here. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Gruber Show.
I promise I didn't kick it in.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
If you want to get on the gun laws as it relates to these weekend